And the world's depending on you.
Get back to work.
All right, showtime.
Hey, it is showtime. Thanks for joining us this morning. Chris, you got me all right? Can you guys hear me? All right. The only reason I ask is it sounded very weird. I knew somebody's been in messing around with the equipment. We haven't said his name in a while. Does Fish still work here?
Yeah, he still works here.
All right. Fish, can we blame something on you, man? We haven't blamed anything on you in a long time.
Actually, I think it was Shanny.
Oh, it would be more like shit.
They had like a band in here yesterday.
You can tell. I walked in this morning, things were blaring loud.
They never put things back to where they should be.
Well, Shanny just can't hear anything.
Yeah,
That's not his fault. He's got a good heart. He's deaf. That's what Tabitha says.
I did not say that.
Huh? What's up? What do you mean I'm deaf? Shanny, we'll see in a little bit, dude. Anyway, welcome to the show. Happy Hump Day. It's 8:03, June 9th. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Appreciate it. It's starting to feel like summer with multiple days of the low temperatures not going below like 71.
It's humid
72.
out there today.
And today it is humid. Welcome to the show. Eric Johnson will be here in a little bit. We told him yesterday how much we appreciated him being here, on time. And what does he do? Okay, he goes back to old Eric Johnson. I've never seen a case of multiple personality this much in my life. Right, Eric? Right? But we love you. As Tabitha says, it's always fun to see which Eric shows up. It's fun.
Is he going to be a Democrat today?
No,
or
it's like
a liberal?
it's like we have a different co-host every day.
Or an independent. Oh, we love him.
I love me some Eric Johnson. Chris Knight's here. Chris, how you been?
Good.
I always get worried when Chris calls me at 11 o'clock at night for any reason.
Why?
Because I just assume you're in bed when I don't hear from you. And Chris calls me, talk about the show, and I say, why are you up? Vic, I don't go to bed till like 3 o'clock.
Oh, my gosh.
Because I get
I went
worried
to bed a little bit earlier.
when he calls me at 11. I'm like, oh, my God, he's not going to be in the morning.
Right.
Sure enough, he's been getting in here early. He's been beating you in a lot, Tabitha.
He has. But he has been beating.
You've been
Both of you have been.
What's going on, Tabitha? You've been slacking a lot lately. You're going through a slump?
Yeah, no, I've just got my timing worked out a little bit better.
What do you mean your timing?
Well, I mean, I don't have to be here like 20 minutes early.
Is it because you're working again?
No, not
It's
really.
not easy to
I did
have
work
two
last
jobs,
night,
is
though.
it?
No, it's not.
It's not. It sucks.
I
It's
feel
hard.
for you.
Well, no, I feel for you. It's like you come into the show, you kind of zone out now, and you get here late. And
I'm trying to be Eric.
well, he has no jobs, and Chris has like 3 jobs. Anyway, hopefully everybody out there has enough employment and makes the most of their Wednesday. Appreciate you joining the show. Coming up at 9:15, big time guest. I don't think you're going to want to miss this. If you can, I know it's still an hour and 10 minutes away, but Tabitha, if you could remind our viewers who we have and what we're going to get at 9:15 today, because I know I'm excited that you set this guest up.
I am so excited. It's Steve Bassett with Paradigm Research. This guy is going to be amazing. He's been on Ancient Aliens. I posted his bio on my Facebook page if anyone wants to look at it. I mean, this guy, if you have any question,
Aliens?
Ancient Aliens, I think it's either on the History Channel or Discovery Channel.
I watched it
Did
last
you watch?
week.
Oh, did you watch it?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people I know have watched it. And I've seen it off and on here and there.
They focused on the Sphinx, the show that I watched.
It's so fascinating, isn't it? And Steve is a lobbyist. He is the only lobbyist in the country who actually has worked very hard for the disclosure of any information related to what was UFOs. I think they're called UAPs now. And he's going to be so fascinating to talk to. And we can probably ask him any question there is, and he's probably going to have the answer. And I think even though he told me that these congressional hearings are not, there's no date set yet, I think there's going to be a lot of information revealed. And I would think since he's the primary source, he would have a good idea of what that information is going to be.
That'll be a lot of what's going on during the 9 o'clock hour.
Yes.
If you have questions, too, let us know at that point in time. Get on the Facebook line. And, of course, you can watch us on Facebook at 100.7 The Viper. You also love it when you share the show, 100.7 The Viper on Facebook. And, of course, you can give us a call whenever you want to, 636-695-2915. Again, 636-695-2915. All right. Also, big story coming from yesterday, and you're starting to see it. Dr. Naputi, Eric Naputi, the Naputi Wellness Center, basically has been telling us for 3 months, in the fall, you're going to have people, health officials, that is, talking about the flu. Oh, my God. And there's going to be a, quote, third wave.
Right.
Saying that the flu is here now. Oh, my God, we got this third wave. Yesterday, nationally, for the first time, we've seen it publicly, and I guarantee this message is going out to local health officials. We're very concerned, health officials, public health officials, county health departments, like the St. Louis County Health Department and others, saying that they're scared for the fall now that flu cases are going to hit and we're going to have a third wave. Are you surprised?
A third wave of COVID?
It doesn't really say.
I mean, it has to be a third wave. It wouldn't be a third wave of flu because it's going to be the normal flu season.
There was no flu. The health officials are saying we didn't have flu this fall, so it's now all of a sudden going to return. We did have flu.
Of course we had flu. Flu doesn't go away just because there's COVID.
The national media message is there was no flu this year. And then I'm tired of the excuses. I'm tired of the lies. I'm tired of you not being able to connect flu. Who says and who doesn't say flu was here and then flu just doesn't? What I'm hearing is, oh, flu wasn't here because we social distance and we put masks on.
Right.
I'm serious.
I know. I believe you. I believe you.
June 9th. They're literally telling us we're going to be dealing. This is what we saw before. You always see things put in advance in motion. I'm literally afraid of what we're seeing now.
So what's going to happen with the messaging? I mean, we're getting these messages that must lead into something.
On June 9th, we're telling you.
Is that going to mean more masking, more push for vaccine?
Masking, vaccine. Well, Dr. Naputi also said whether you had a vaccine or not, people who are not vaccine efficient or ready or have had full vaccinations are going to be blamed for the increase in flu. Yeah. Naputi said it 2.5, 3 months ago. And here we are, national story on CNN talking about this. We don't know what happened to the flu. It just disappeared. Oh, my God.
And which we know is impossible. Well,
the national numbers are stating that only one child died from the flu this year.
Which is also impossible.
It's in 2019 and 2020, stats show there was 199 flu-related deaths in children and 144 the season before.
But kids weren't in school, and they mainly stayed home. So I mean, that may not be too far off. They weren't in their normal school sessions. Most kids were not.
According to the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital director, Richard Webby, he said flu hasn't been anywhere with the exception of some reasonable activity in Western Africa. No one has seen it. That includes countries that have done lockdown. So it's not until, I mean, I just don't get where they think this is going to go.
They're probably
Webby
leading into masks.
And the other national medical experts say that the lull in the flu activity is only temporary. And they worry that when influenza returns likely this fall, it's going to return with a vengeance. How does...
that doesn't make any sense
either. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
It makes zero sense.
Because just even if it were the situation where there was...
Really?
It doesn't work that way.
Is flu plotting right now?
I'm not a doctor and I can say it doesn't work that way.
Exactly.
It just doesn't. Even if there were zero cases, in reality, that doesn't mean it would be double flu. It's not like, oh, I didn't have flu last year, so I'm going to get it this year.
And we basically have... There's really no cases anymore. I mean, there isn't. We've talked about this so many times. I mean, just get ready for the messaging. We're always, or at least we have been in the last 14 months, we've been ahead of the game. And I'm telling you, Dr. Naputi's been ahead of the game. It's not because he just comes in here and blabs his mouth. It's because he is studying the research. He's doing the research. He's treated patients, and he's doing it on a daily basis. He's talking with the top docs all around the world and giving you another perspective. I just get concerned when I see that.
Of course.
And
that's a problem.
Vaccination rates, for those who care, giving you the update, how we used to give you COVID numbers, they've come to almost a standstill. National messaging is freaking out right now because, oh my God, we got to get more people vaccinated. And I continue to hear national people, national doctors, even one at Duke say, well, we're ending this because of vaccine. Vaccines are stopping the transmission. Doctors at Duke, it's stopping because of the vaccine. Really? Who told you that? Is that your opinion? Is that medically backed? I mean, I don't see this going anywhere. I mean, It's going to come back. I think that we're going to get this all hit again in the fall.
Oh, I think it's a very good possibility. I'm sure that closures and more face mask requirements are not off the table.
And that frustrates the heck out of me.
It does me as well. And you know what they're still not accounting for is the people who've had COVID, who have natural antibodies. I just listened to a news story this morning.
You're not going to hear that anywhere.
And you know what? Well, Princess Cruises, they're now allowing, they're no longer requiring, I should say, people to be vaccinated before you cruise out of ports in Texas or Florida. But what their message is that, guess what? If you're vaccinated, you're probably safe on the cruise. But if you're not vaccinated, then you're not safe. Never is there a category for people who've had COVID and have natural antibodies. It's either you're vaccinated or you're not vaccinated. You're good or you're either bad.
I think somebody asked Dr. Alex Garza that. He is the president of the St. Louis Metropolitan Pandemic Task Force. And I think he tried to say, well, we don't know how long you have antibodies for.
And you know what? And you can go get tested and find out. And then that doesn't even include what happens with your memory cells.
But he says even if you get tested, then you don't know if you have it the next day. Are you testing every day? Are you testing every week?
Well, you know what? If you were going to do something that's a big deal, you could test all the time. We know that it lasts at least 6 to 10 months.
Most people aren't. Okay. Exactly. So what do you, then they come back
so they
and
should
go,
be immune for
well,
6 to 10 months.
But when did you have COVID? And 6 to 10 months is on the high end, according to the doctors.
Well, of course it is. But find
That's
somebody.
on the high end.
There are.
And then they're like, well, what do you do at the end of that? Then you need to get your vaccine.
For what? I had COVID and I didn't even have any symptoms. What in the world do I need a vaccine to prevent?
You had symptoms.
No, I didn't. What did I have?
Tabitha.
What
you
symptoms
were
did I
sick
have?
all the time.
I was not.
You even told me at one time that you had it. Okay.
I have never in this show have I ever said I had
I feel
symptoms.
like I'm on Scooby-Doo and Eric is now you're at home
no,
sleeping
no.
and he's wearing the Tabitha mask.
You're wrong. I've always been extremely consistent that I had sinus pressure one evening. It was the only symptom I had was sinus pressure. I was never sick from COVID. I had sinus pressure and that was it. And that was for like a couple of hours one night.
From the Facebook line, and we love it when you get involved. Cruises are overrated. I've never been on a cruise, but I've heard that recently 3 or 4 times that cruises are overrated.
I've never been on a cruise.
I guess it depends. Chris, have you ever been on a cruise?
No.
Wow.
Not my deal.
Yeah, that's 3 of us.
I don't think I would like it.
Just slow-moving cities.
I mean, if I'm going to go on
heard.
vacation, I want to go to the beach. I don't want to be stuck on a boat.
Right.
From the Facebook line, interesting. A friend's daughter went to the doctor with all the symptoms and said, they didn't even need to run a test.
Oh, they just said she has COVID?
No, I guess they
Or
did.
they just don't care
said,
anymore.
Hey, yeah, just go ahead. Get what you can get. By the way, Dr. Naputia, we'll try to check in on a schedule and see if he can join us Friday to talk about the situation that's coming up. But it's just so frustrating to see what is happening right now when it comes to this. And on top of that, we're not being told the VAERS reporting the CDC numbers on adverse reactions and death. But Maine did. Maine came out yesterday and talked about, we've had 9 vaccinated residents die with COVID-19. The state of Maine came out and actually said it. The Maine Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported 8 residents who were fully vaccinated against coronavirus died with COVID-19, including some who were inoculated while receiving end-of-life care.
One person in California recently died, fully vaccinated from COVID.
I mean, and the infection acquired 14 days post-final vaccination done is considered a breakthrough case, and that's when it happened. As of June 4th, the state had reported 387 such cases in Maine, the CDC numbers. So those things are still happening. They're not going away. We're all starting to get back to normal. Hell, I was watching, because there was nothing on last night, NBA, even though I hate the NBA because of how they're racist. And I say they're racist because they have prejudice and power to do harm to other individuals that are not of a certain color. And we've seen it because they treated a couple basketball players that way. But in Utah, because their head coach is Quinn Snyder, former Mizzou basketball coach who I was friends with when he was in Mizzou when I was a broadcaster there. So I'd love to see him do well. And it's packed. Everybody's shoulder to shoulder. Last night in Colorado, sold out hockey game for the NHL. Vegas, a couple nights ago, amazing scene. Everybody getting back to normal right now. And then the CDC comes out again yesterday and starts talking about flu numbers for the fall.
Well, of course they did. They've got to get that control back.
But once again, what is control for? Why? That's the whole issue. It's like, okay, it's one thing to say control, but there's got to be a reason for control.
Well, we know what the reason is.
I don't.
Well, I do. It's all about socialism. Because you know what? When they shut things back down, that's put people back out of work. That closes more businesses. It makes you have to go back to shop at the conglomerates again. Your money's going up the tree. It's not coming back down.
Well,
Chris,
no more free money this week.
Yeah.
This
You're right.
Is the
That
last
has
week
ended.
for free money.
No, next
Yeah.
week. It's
This
next
week.
This week.
It ends on the 12th.
June 14th is what I thought it was.
I think it's the whatever week. Is
This
it
week
Sunday?
is
I
the
don't know what
last
day
week.
it ends.
Well,
but-
today's the 9th, the 10th, the 11th. So that would be Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's definitely the end of this week.
Okay.
Shouldn't be getting no free money anyway. People need to go out and get a damn job.
Well, I agree. But I also listened. Here's something for you and for our listeners. Let's see. Oh, shoot. When we come back, I was listening to another radio station yesterday who were saying you shouldn't be upset that people aren't showing up to fast food restaurants or to your McDonald's, your Sonics, any of those places, because you have a privileged job during COVID where you could sit home and do your Zoom calls and have a 2-hour lunch where they actually have to go to a place over a fryer and sweat. So until they get paid the money that they should, you shouldn't be upset that you can't live your privileged life.
I wouldn't put it in those terms exactly.
This was on the power station in our area.
I
Blew
wouldn't.
my, and it was around 2:30, 2:40, closer to 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Blew my mind.
But those people, I do feel for them.
Yeah, well, guess what? We all have to do stuff.
Absolutely
I was a
so.
roofer. Suck it up.
Right. No,
Suck
I agree.
it up. I was an insulator. Suck it up. I made pizzas. Suck it up.
I agree with you too. But
Those jobs
I
should
am
be
thankful for the
temporary
people.
for a lot of people as you move
I
through
agree.
life.
Right. I completely agree with you. But I do feel
Unless
for
it's
those
something
people.
you absolutely love.
Those people, I shouldn't say I feel for them. I'm thankful for them because a lot of these people, like my brother, who works at a grocery store, he worked through the entire pandemic.
Thankful is
I am
different
thankful.
than feeling
Right.
sorry.
I don't feel sorry for them. I am thankful for them. But what's not fair is so many people that did sit home and make a lot more money than these people out working. And people are going to work and they're working for lower wages and they're getting taxed on top of that when people are sitting at home making thousands of dollars doing absolutely zilch during this
But
pandemic.
they're still getting taxed. What are you talking about?
I'm talking. What do you mean by taxed?
You
People
just
who
brought
get-
up taxed.
I'm bringing up taxed because
You said these people who have to go out and work are getting taxed, but these other people are sitting home making thousands of dollars. They get taxed too.
well, people pay unemployment tax,
but they're not
yes,
working.
but they're not working. They're
Sitting on
sitting
their
at
ass.
home.
Oh, you're talking about unemployed.
I am talking about people who are
Okay.
unemployed.
My point was about the
are
people
sitting
from
at
the
home.
conversation, which I brought up from the radio show, that said there are people who don't have to go to work. They were able to do Zoom meetings, and then they're the ones who are upset taking
Right.
care of
Yeah, I'm
lunches,
not talking about
getting.
those people. I'm talking about the people who are getting unemployment insurance, who are not working, who are making more than the people
Well, yeah, of
who are
course.
out there working
We've been saying that on
and
the
who
show
are
for
getting
months.
taxed heavily for their work.
We'll come back and talk about that. We'll continue that conversation. We'll take your call, 636-695-2915. Love the interaction on the Facebook line as well. Share the show. As always, 100.7 The Viper. Also, Kamala Harris doubling down when it comes to migrants trying to enter the country, plus 77 days since she's been to the border. 77 days since she's been to the border. We'll get into all that, and especially coming up at 9:15. You won't want to miss it. Under an hour. We are going to talk with who again, Tabitha?
We are going to talk to Steve Bassett with Paradigm Research.
And we are talking all about the upcoming report when it comes to UFOs. If anybody's on the inside, it's him. We'll be back. Ed Eric has joined the show. He looks like, I don't know, he's wearing his camouflage hat today and his Adidas jacket.
He's been an army man lately.
We were trying to figure out which Eric's showing up today.
He's been army man
Ooh,
lately.
The mean one. Tabitha, look out. Eric's going to come after
The
me
mean
today.
one. Uh-oh. Him and Chris, they probably sat around last night and plotted against me.
I don't think they gave you that much thought. We'll be back right after this.
This is the Edge Morning Show.
Live on 100.7.
The Viper.
Contractors Flooring Supply is your open to the public U.S. Corette, Casabella, Neptune, Nova, Metrofloor, and Mohawk waterproof flooring specialist. 12 mil wear layers with premium pad attached at $247 per square foot. 20 mil at $297 a square foot. Nylon residential super dense carpet is just $287 per square foot installed over 8-pound lifetime Mohawk cushion. Dreamweaver Frisee carpet at 99 cents a square foot. Contractors Flooring next to New World King in Warrenton.
Hello, St. Louis and St. Charles County. This is John Londoff Jr. along with my good friend and partner, Jimmy Sappho. Jimmy, folks are wondering how Johnny Londoff Autoplex has become the fastest growing pre-owned dealer in the area so quickly. Are you kidding me?
Sir, for over 80 years, folks have trusted your family to give the best customer service, a great selection, and the lowest prices possible.
And don't forget our free lifetime powertrain warranty on most vehicles on the lot.
Visit us in St. Peters
And at londoffauto.com.
Are you a business owner looking for funding? Greenbox Capital is here to help by providing easy working capital loans in as little as 24 hours. Visit greenboxcapital.com/apply now to fill out a short form and get started today. With funding from $3,000 to $500,000, Greenbox Capital can help. Visit greenboxcapital.com/apply now to receive a special offer of 10% off cost of working capital. Greenboxcapital.com/apply now and get business funding needed without stress from traditional lenders. Greenboxcapital.com/apply now. Fast funding for small businesses.
Start with everyone with a brand new puppy they cannot leave home alone. And there he is now, disemboweling a sofa. Now narrow it to the puppy parents who need to get their prescriptions refilled today. For you, there's Walgreens same-day prescription delivery. Medication sent right to your door from the local Walgreens you already know and trust. So you can spend all day at home teaching your new puppy some manners. Elroy, roll over. Or just sit there and tilt your head. Aw. To join, text JOIN-RX to 21525.
Compass Health Network is excited to announce the opening of the newest Express Care location on Newtown Boulevard in St. Charles. Compass Health Network accepts private insurance, Medicaid, self-pay, and a sliding fee scale. Compass Health Network cares for the whole person, the whole family, the whole community, with locations in St. Charles, Troy, Wentzville, St. Peters, and the newest Express Care on Newtown Boulevard by 370. For information, call 636-723-8465 or visit compasshealthnetwork.org.
Remember chasing the ice cream truck when you were a kid? Well, this is much better, and you don't have to chase it down. Clementine's Naughty and Nice Creamery, now open in Lake St. Louis at the Meadows Shopping Center. All natural, handcrafted ice cream with unique flavors that change weekly. Vegan and gluten-free options as well. Take home a pint or enjoy a scoop, and you'll love the outdoor patio. And you know it's got to be great because they were featured in Oprah Magazine's coveted O List in 2019. Clementine's Naughty and Nice Creamery.
Hey, it's Shanny from the Legendary Lunch, and I want to tell you about my friends at Mascot's Bar and Grill, 4881 Mexico Road in St. Peters, right by the Recplex. And if you are looking for a place to hang out with your friends, it's Mascot's Bar and Grill. If you want delicious food, it's Mascot's Bar and Grill. From their appetizers like the giant pretzel, this thing is bigger than your head, to the steak sandwiches, the value menu, to the legendary lunch special. That's right, Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 3, you go in and tell them that you're FOS, you're a friend of Shanny's, and you want the legendary lunch special. It's a $5 half-pound burger and fries. That's right, $5 half-pound burger and fries. Better than any fast food burger you will ever have. And on Sundays, all day long. That's right, the legendary lunch special goes all day long on Sundays. Stop by and say hi to Jen and Rob. You will have a great time. Musical bingo, food, fun, friends, and family. It's Mascot's Bar and Grill.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Turn it up. Hey, welcome back to the show. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. We hope we got Tabitha back. We just had to scold her a little bit to get all in. You just can't do radio half-assed.
Oh, you guys are boring me.
You have to.
You got to come up with some better content to keep me interested.
Woo! Happy Hump Day, everybody. June
Already
9th.
starting. 8:27 in the morning and already starting.
I don't think she's had her amp coffee today.
I did every day. I drink that amp coffee literally almost
Tabitha's
every
been
single
working
day.
A lot more. Things have changed. Tabitha's had to go back to work.
That is true.
She's working all the time.
I did have to work last night.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. If you want to give us a call, 636-695-2950. 15. Of course, Facebook 100.7 The Viper. Eric, good morning. I'm glad that you're in right now. Everything all right?
Oh, good. Yeah.
All right.
It's Wednesday.
Hey, by the way, Chris, it is the 12th, as I was saying. According to the Facebook line, somebody who's been getting it, it's June 12th.
What's the free
so this
money
will be the
on that?
last week,
So
right?
you get paid up until next week.
Okay. So
Yep.
we can
Yeah,
get back to
June 12th.
normal. Enough
It's
of
not
this
the
crap.
money, it's
Enough of
June
this
12th.
crap, man. Enough of this crap. This unemployment benefits junk. It is garbage. It's garbage. Unless you really need it and you can prove that you really need it. And remember in the old days, maybe they don't do this anymore, but I got fired from jobs that I supposedly should have hated, which I actually loved. I mean, these people are hearing Tabitha talk about how she feels bad for people going and making burgers. Oh my God! Some of the jobs.
Well, I meant
that
to say
had,
I was thankful.
Some of the jobs I had
We
back in the old
corrected
days.
her. I corrected her.
Good.
We made sure.
Good.
Yes, I was thankful.
Those are some of the best life lesson jobs on the planet. They make you feel like, man, maybe I could be an entrepreneur. Maybe this isn't what I want to do. Oh my gosh, I can actually pay for an apartment by myself without my parents.
Or maybe
These
you
are
want to start your own
fantastic.
burger joint up.
Exactly.
Or-
But and people
These
do
are
sometimes
fantastic
do that.
opportunities. People don't realize that.
I agree,
it's
yeah.
a great opportunity.
You can move up in those worlds.
Exactly. You can get a job at Walmart right now, and within a year, you can be in management over there. It's crazy, actually. So, no, I was thinking back on the jobs that I thought, man, I should really hate this job. Like I worked at Showbiz Pizza Place. And you know what? I became Billy Bob, walking around patting on the little kids on the head in that costume, and it put me in show business.
And you know what? People can put me in my place if they want to. So be it. But now, service industry jobs like that at fast food restaurants are getting paid more than they ever have. And how many people really think service is better? Because I'm going to tell
It's
you
not.
right now,
It's not.
It's far worse.
I
Call
had to
me
leave
out.
a restaurant
Prove to me
last
that
night.
I'm wrong. Because
Sir.
service right now, it sucks.
It's
It's
terrible.
bad. It's the worst I've ever seen.
Well, it's because
in my
there's not
life on
enough
this
people
planet.
there.
Exactly.
There's
what? Because of what?
because
It's
there's
not about. It's not just about that. It
No.
was really
no,
bad.
I was
it
at a
even before
restaurant
that.
literally
last
is
night.
about that.
It all
literally
depends on
is.
the place.
I was at a restaurant last night in St. Charles for my father-in-law's birthday. We were there 1 hour. It took 45 minutes to get a beer. Okay? Sitting at the table,
That's
took
horrible.
the order, everything. And then they said they didn't have no ice. The ice machine broke. And they were out of like
What kind of
three
place?
things.
What kind of place you going
Yeah,
to?
Did
name
I
it.
mention it?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's up to you.
Hendrick's Barbecue.
There you go.
Down on
Okay.
South Main Street.
Do better.
in
Never
St.
heard of
Charles.
it.
We're
I've
saying
never heard
that,
of
we're
it.
saying this so
Nice
that you do
place.
better. Do better,
But-
Hendricks.
Yeah, nice place, but wow. I was like, holy cow, we can't stay here. So we had to leave. We left. I mean, we had already ordered food, drinks, everything. We had been there 45 minutes before we got our drinks. So long story short, we leave. We went to another place, and it was absolutely fabulous.
I feel bad because
It was fabulous. The
That's-
service was great.
it's the second time we've heard that you've gone to somewhere and you've
I
had
know.
to,
I
know.
and you've had to leave dinner and go somewhere else.
I called him.
because
It
of
sucks.
I called Chris. I said, "Do you want me to come down there? I'm not doing anything. I'd like to come hang out." And he goes, "Nah, don't worry about it. We just ordered it.
Yeah.
Remember that? He said, he goes, we just ordered. We should be out of here in a half an hour." I go, well,
Yeah, right.
okay, fine. It finds out that he goes to a different
Yeah.
restaurant
And still
He
didn't call you?
He sees one of our elected officials and he asks the non-pertinent questions. If I was there, I would have had all the information for us, Vic.
That's
which we
because,
can't even talk
that's
about right
because you want your media badge.
I used to have a. You're
I'll
gonna
make you one at home
One
on
of
my
these
printer.
days, you're going to give me a Channel 2 media badge.
You're going to carry it around your lanyard on your neck
Yeah.
everywhere you go. Platinum Rock Legend. How about this? I'll give you my own lanyard that you can wear around your neck at Platinum Rock Legend concert.
And I'll trade you a wig for it, and you can come on stage. How about that? You like that? I'll tell you what. You can give it to me during sweeps week, and I'll get you some ratings.
We just finished. Oh.
I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm kind of brilliant. That
Oh my
way.
God, that's
Anyway.
funny. That is awesome. Hey, Kamala Harris doubling down yesterday. Don't come to our country. You will not be allowed in. What happened?
That's a different message.
What happened? Doubling
I don't
down.
believe her. Do you?
I don't know. I'm not at the border. Neither is she.
And she's
So
not.
I don't know.
And she hasn't been to Europe either.
Right.
What an idiot! I'm sorry, man. These are our
Well,
leaders.
we'll find out. We'll find out.
Oh, we will.
We'll find out what.
We'll find out if people are still coming through. Well, first of all, Texas Governor Abbott said he will not allow people to cross the border. He's taken it into his own hands. He will prosecute people that do cross the border illegally. And now we know
And
that people
I'm not
cross.
going to call Kamala an
You have
idiot,
to. You
but
have to.
I don't
No, Vic,
get
you have to.
why. Why 77 days she's not been there, but she's in Guatemala.
No.
They don't want her there. And she was in Mexico yesterday at a press conference.
No. Lester Holt literally came out and said, and he is not a friend to the GOP, that's for sure. But he comes out, have you been to the border? Yes, we've been to the border. No. Have you been to the border?
Right.
Well, I haven't been to Europe either.
And then she giggles.
And then that cackle. It's not even a laugh. It's a cat. Look, I don't want to be mean to her, but she's been put into a position where she should say, Biden, I'll tell you what, if you want me to do this, if you have now given me the garbage of this administration, fine. I'm going to put my boots on, and I'm going to go walk the border. And I'm going to bring the news media down there and go, yeah, we got a problem down here. But she is trying to figure out this bizarre little chess game of going, you know what, I'll go down to the Central American countries, and I'm going to try to fix their problems so they don't migrate to our problems, and that's not going to work.
Well, how about this?
And that's why I say the whole thing is moronic. Not her, but the entire strategy that they're coming up with.
This may be connected. It may not be connected. It may be what this country has been like for a while and how the country has changed. United States soccer game against Mexico in Denver 3 days ago. Did you guys see this game? Okay, the United States upset Mexico in Denver. The United States, whether you like soccer or not,
they've never been very good.
They've got a team now that it's one of the youngest teams in the world, and they're beating world powers.
Good, about time.
And a St. Louis kid is on that team too, Josh Sargent. Awesome to see. Well, after the United States took a 3-2 lead in overtime, and earlier in the game, Christian Pulisic, who made the shot, who is now one of the best, he's turned out to be one of the best players in the world. He's a young kid, 19 years old, gets pelted with water bottles from fans in Denver. It was a major Mexican heavy crowd that was chanting throughout the game, cussing at the United States players, throwing batteries, bottles, everything else on American soil. One of the United States' best players, Reyna, got hit with a bottle, had to be carried off. He had already scored a goal in the game, could not come back. And this was in Denver, in the Mile High City.
Yeah.
And now, do you see something changing
it's a sanctuary
in the United
city.
States?
It's a sanctuary city. That's where they go.
Well, there's arrest and lifetime ban for these Mexico fans that they're able to find.
Yeah.
But there were many more they were not able to. And all you have to do...
Half of them probably shouldn't have been here anyway.
Is look it up, because it was one of the most crazy scenes you're ever going to see. Americans being targeted on American soil.
Have you ever been to Europe have you ever been to Black Forest or a European soccer game? Have you ever?
No.
The hooligans over there are the most dangerous.
Oh, I've seen it.
They're the most dangerous people on the planet. They are literally, it's like brawls after every game. Soccer is, I mean, they are fanatics.
I did forget to say this too. They were also chanting anti-pride chants.
What's that mean?
Pride Month? It's Pride Month.
Right, I got that.
Against
LGBT people?
LGBT.
The Mexicans were?
The Mexican fans, absolutely.
Wow.
Chants throughout the stadium against it.
So they're not woke.
Well, who knows what they, I mean.
But did you see
got a Mexican contingent going against Pride Month and attacking physically and verbally American soccer players in Denver.
Have you ever? So nobody likes what's going on in Central America and Mexico. Did you see the banners when Kamala landed yesterday? It said Trump won.
Yeah, we talked about
go
that
home.
yesterday.
I know we did, but I was bringing it back up. Off the plane, the first Tabitha, we're over here. The first thing that we see off the plane is Kamala to a banner saying, "Go home. You're not wanted here." This is not inviting, man. This is. They are literally trying to force feed countries asparagus, and nobody wants it. They got to figure out what's going on.
Hey, Chris, it might be time to take Tabitha's headphones.
Hey, am.
I'm just kidding.
I am conversing with our listeners
As long as
and reading their
Tabitha's on the line.
comments.
You know what? Somebody needs
And I
to-
didn't see it, so
and
I don't have any comment to make about that.
I appreciate you doing that because we can't always get to the comment line.
Exactly. So I'm and the past few days I haven't been able to look at it because my PC hasn't been working right. So today I can see the comments.
Fantastic.
And I'm
it's
excited
called
about
radio
it.
for a reason. Anyway, back to COVID.
There's no COVID's gone until the fall. Remember, we already told people COVID's back until the fall.
Right.
So it's just wild. I mean, you've got these situations.
That is crazy. That's crazy.
I never thought I'd see that day. And I get that Mexican fans like soccer on the more of a large scale than Americans.
Yeah.
But still.
Look, the stadiums in Mexico where like some of my friends' bands play, they are 120,000 people. Put that in perspective. Busch Stadium is 45,000 people. It's double, if not triple, what Busch Stadium is for a game that you play with only your feet.
Right.
Which I don't understand because I can't stand soccer. But
and I'm a football guy who loves soccer.
Really?
I love it, yes, because I grew up in this.
Soccer was the thing we would pass when we go to football practice of like 14 people in the stands watching a game.
I like soccer, and I'm excited about what the MLS is bringing to St. Louis because I see some hope for it. And since we lost out on a freaking football team and we're not getting an NBA team, we need something. More is better.
Soccer or ping pong? I'm not totally sure which one.
Oh, give me a break. Stop it.
Ping pong.
Ping pong's very exciting, by the way.
I am all about our country.
Yeah.
I'm all about national sports.
Yes.
And competing against other countries. So I like all sports, including ping pong. Anything, especially with soccer. I will sit and watch an Olympic ping pong match and be awed. Because
the Chinese love that game, man.
No. We got Chinese Americans who are dominating now, too.
Yeah.
See, I know, and I watched some of these highlights, and I saw one of the best shots ever last week.
Yeah.
An American getting ready does a backhand.
Yeah.
Return for a point.
Yeah.
And then the guy on the other side from whatever country, I can't remember, he looked like an Asian man, goes like nods his paddle, like, wow. Yeah, so I'm into ping pong.
like a tip of the hat.
But I'm into soccer too. I'm into darts, man.
I'm into competition. You're absolutely right. Well, backyard jarts. I would watch that if it was exciting.
Jarts is fun, but you can't even buy jarts anymore.
Yeah.
They're against the law now.
Yeah,
Excuse me?
Because they can hurt people.
Yeah, but how many people have actually been hurt?
Physically.
What, by putting really?
Yes.
When did this happen?
I guarantee some drunk idiot, some drunk uncle at a barbecue screwed it up for everybody.
Probably.
Is that right?
I'm sure.
So they let people have beer pong games and put them into some kind of a alcohol coma, whatever. Where were we? The Mexicans. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's really things are backfiring for the Democrats because a poll just came out, and they say more Latinos are voting GOP Republican than they are for Democrats. As a matter of fact,
I saw this, but was
3 border towns now, which are all Latinos almost.
Who conducted the poll?
This was AP. This was the AP poll that I saw. The AP poll said that they're trending 8%. Man, it was taken during that last election at the border that just put GOP in those managerial spots. Yes,
So it was back in November?
No, was it November? I thought that there wasn't
the
there
election. What do you, I don't
There's
know.
There was
border
towns.
that was 2 months ago. Yeah.
2 months ago, fine. AP came
Where the
out with them.
Republican won.
Yeah, and they were stunned to find out that the Latino base that's down there is voting for Republicans.
That doesn't surprise me. I don't trust polls, but that doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, it was Democrat before. So it trended to a point where the Democrats
but you have
lost.
to remember that people who came to this country legally, they don't want people coming here illegally.
Correct.
Because they put a lot of
You
money
think?
and work into coming in.
I mean,
coming
imagine
here.
being at Six Flags over Mid-America on a hot summer day, and you did your due diligence to get in that line for the Screaming Eagle, and all of a sudden 14 young kids come and just walk past everybody right to the front of the Screaming
this
Eagle.
happened at Cedar Point 2 weeks ago. Remember?
How pissed off would you
we
be,
showed
man?
everybody the fight video.
That happened to me this morning.
Turkey leg.
No, that was the second video.
That's
They
another
were
video,
fighting over-
Chris.
No, they were stealing turkey legs at Six Flags. This video was from Cedar Point that we showed where somebody cut in the water park line.
I remember that, yeah.
Especially if you're hot,
Hell
you're
yeah,
sticky,
pissed
and you're
me
like, I
off.
just want to get on that ride. Now I got to wait for
It's
14 more people to go through that thing.
Extremely annoying.
Entitlement.
Extremely annoying.
Man, people are getting mad.
Get to the back of
I'm
the
telling
line
you,
with everyone else.
We are in the era of backlash now, people. Keep an eye on it because it's going to be starting to pop up all over the
Backlash.
place. Backlash.
What do you, backlash about what?
Backlash, the movie. No, because people are seeing all of this stuff. COVID has brought all this stuff to. It's like the curd that comes up
COVID's
out of the
not
milk.
going anywhere, Eric.
I know, but this
It's
year,
coming back in the fall. You
this
heard
year
it
of
on June
COVID,
9th.
this year of COVID has brought out Black Lives Matter. Nobody wants that anymore. It has brought out critical race theory. Nobody
time
wants.
out, time out,
Oh,
time
God.
out.
Anything that's bad that's happened in
You
this
can't
society.
say that nobody wants Black Lives Matter anymore.
I'm talking about the percentages. I'm talking
What-
very
what?
small percentages of people want Black Lives Matter anymore. Do you think that
I
I'm
don't agree with that
I
at
don't
all.
agree with it, Eric.
What?
It depends on.
I saw it firsthand in Kansas City literally 4 days ago.
Once again, you're in a Missouri red state.
That is a good barometer because Kansas City is a Democratic-led city.
No, Eric, and so is St. Louis City.
Well, exactly.
But those aren't the people that are. It's the surrounding area where there's more people, Eric. You're in a red state. Missouri is
red-ish.
a hardcore red state.
I'm talking the metropolitan areas are not red.
Oh, Eric.
I'm talking Black Lives Matter came through this little concert we were doing. They were last year. They would have
Yeah,
been
but Black
given
Lives
carte
Matter
blanche
supporters
access.
aren't coming to watch Platinum
People
Rock
are sick of
Legends.
it.
I'm
People are
sorry.
sick of it.
I've seen the people in your concert. They're not Black Lives Matter fans.
No, they look.
No, not at all.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to respond.
And
to that
and
one.
Vic is right on this one. And
I'm sorry.
I don't think it's trending upwards. I think people are getting tired of it.
I don't think that's true because, you know, the people that I talk to, black and brown people, they and a lot of white people, they absolutely stand behind Black Lives Matter
Yes.
100%.
And those are people I'm around doing my news stories on a daily basis, Eric. It's not.
Well, I wasn't even bringing.
they feel
I was,
that's their voice.
I was bringing Black Lives Matter up because it's this potpourri of all kinds of garbage. Critical race theory, garbage. They're talking about, the wokeism, the cancel culture, garbage. People are getting sick of it. They know that the only way that they can fight back is through the ballot box. And I think that that's what I'm seeing right now. And here, mark the tape. What is the date today? Come back to this in a year when we start to get ready for these votes. You're going to start to see the American public go, you know what, I'm going to shut up. But when I go to the ballot box, they're gone.
Does it matter?
And that's the
Does it
backlash
matter?
I'm talking about.
Does it matter?
Yes, it matters.
How does it matter? We just had, Trump was just cheated out of an election. How does it matter? Are we going to fix the voting system between now and then?
No, they
Do you
don't have the
trust the
votes.
voting
They don't have the
system?
votes
and
to do that.
unfortunately, there's no proof to what Tabitha says, though.
No, there's
but
no proof.
But proof is starting to add up because they're doing these forensic audits.
And who cares?
And no, you're right. No one, we care,
And
but no
nobody's
one
gonna
else
remember.
cares.
Look, you got to
I
tip.
hope they
Here's
remember.
the deal, Tabitha, and everybody on Facebook and listening on the radio. You have got to tip your hat to the Democrats. If they did pull off a successful coup of that election, you just have to tip your hat and go, well played, sir, well played.
Those were the Bernie supporters that
Okay,
did that.
but
Yes.
it doesn't ever happen again. Fool me
How?
once,
But
shame
Eric,
on me.
I've
But
asked
how
you
do
this
we ensure
question
that?
several times. So when you say you think there will be difference of voting around the country, so that means you said before you felt like there was something bad
COVID
with
let
voting.
states
No,
go
yeah.
crazy on the voting crap.
Okay.
They said we're just going to mail out ballots all over the place. If
And you
Joey,
think
who's
that's gonna
4 years
stop
old,
it,
wants
and you
to
don't
fill it
think-
out, can.
And you don't think anything? So you
Yes, I
you
do. I
Think
think
everything
that
will be up and up on the next
Red
presidential
states are
election.
attempting, Vic and Tabitha, they are attempting to make laws that say we're going to tighten down the hatches.
And
We're
then
gonna
they're
buck-
called racists.
Fine, then call them whatever.
And
Call
then,
them monkeys. Call them.
and then
call
the
them gorillas.
Democrats
It doesn't matter. Call them puggles. It doesn't matter what you call them. At least they're trying to do it. And Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema right now, if they can hold the weather, they are going to be known as national heroes.
But the people, Eric, who are in charge, who are making the rules, are the Democrats.
for right now.
And I've asked you this. You really so if you think that there was something wrong with the last election, and you have told us that on the show that you do.
I cannot say
So
right here
you
with a
think-
straight face that they didn't stuff ballot boxes all over the place because I don't know. But I do feel
Did
like they
stuff
had a
ballot
good
boxes
opportunity
in
to.
the states that Trump won.
I'm not saying Vic.
They didn't need to.
Vic, I'm not psychic. I don't know. I only know what I hear.
I know. I'm just
I'm
telling
just
you
saying
that
when
there's
you
this whole
have
other aspect
when
out
you
there
have
that-
states saying because of COVID.
Well, I mean, do you think it's normal that truckloads of ballots show up at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Good question.
No.
Here's what was not normal.
You know, I mean,
nobody
that's not normal.
And nobody ever answered. We had a 200,000 vote dump in Michigan and one around the same in Wisconsin overnight.
Right.
Those questions have never been answered.
No,
No.
they never will be.
So that's why I asked Eric when Eric says everything's going to change. It's all good. And I'm like, so you think all of a sudden now voting irregularities are not going to be anymore?
They're trying in the red states. Oh no,
I know,
no, but
trying
here,
is-
no. Let me
Eric, trying is dying.
let
dude.
me back. I'm gonna have to put that on a bumper sticker. Here's the deal: they are attempting right now through federal process, HR and SR1, to absolutely let carte blanche as far as mailing out ballots, ballot stations that have no witnesses. They are trying their best right now so the Democrats can do this again.
How far are they going to get? I mean, that's the problem.
I don't know the answer
because look
to your
what happened
question.
in Georgia. Look what happened in Georgia. They pulled some big event out of there, which they're trying. Was it the All-Star game?
Well, it's the Major League Baseball All-Star game, and they gave it to Denver.
Correct. I mean, that's how far they're willing to go to make sure people aren't restricted in voting.
But that was Major League Baseball who did that, and now there's a lawsuit against Major League Baseball for doing this, trying to get the game back in to Atlanta because they are hurting African American business owners.
Right.
I mean,
you can't make it up,
Should
right?
have thought about that before.
The voting at the border states I've been corrected was Saturday. It was last Saturday, and this is GOP kind of ran the table down there. And here's backlash.
Yes,
Vic,
they did.
Backlash, Vic,
and GOP's done very well.
They won in a place they should not have won. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Normal people that like to have barbecues in their backyard who once considered themselves a Democrat because they were in the union for 50 years or whatever, those people are sick of seeing disruption in their cities. They're done with anti-policing, and they're done with this woke millennial culture. They're done with it. And so they're going to shut up, and they're going to walk their happy asses down to the ballot boxes, and they're going to vote all of these GOP guys in that are going to promise to take care of business.
Well, we'll be in the 14th wave of COVID then, and we'll all be locked down in our houses and mailing in our ballots.
We went through this before, and the scare is not going to be quite what it is the first time.
Oh, are you kidding me? They're trying to amp up the scare. Then now there's the Alpha variant. There's the Delta variant. And they're so much more deadly than all the other variants. And even if you've been vaccinated, you're going to die from the Delta and the Alpha variants.
That's not true, but that's what's being said.
But that's what they're being said.
So
that is not true.
It's already starting to happen,
It
which
is,
is why I started the show out today a bit angry, a little bit like the sandpaper, little rough, because I see it now. Dr. and Pootie's been telling us.
Are you
going
to report that on Channel 2? When they try to fear monger the entire
Eric,
public?
Once again, you don't understand.
I don't. You're right.
That's not how you report news. You don't give opinions.
Then you don't let them feed you a non-factual
Here's
facts.
the thing again, Eric. I feel like we go to lesson on this every day.
Well, then I'll go to school every day with my pencil.
Me too.
Local news reports what the health departments tell them.
But
Okay.
but you said that it was inaccurate what they told you guys before with the masking and the and
what did I say, or what exactly?
So
are you
we would
talking about?
agree that Fauci was not completely forthcoming. He was not completely accurate about what he did.
Emails, in my opinion, absolutely.
Right.
And anybody that takes time to go through that, absolutely.
Right.
However, St. Louis County Health Departments, following CDC recommendations, will continue to, because the CDC has not, quote, come under any sort of investigation or indictment.
Yes, they have. Through the press, they have. The press has put him on the spot quite a few times.
The CDC
The Senate hasn't either. Has
not-
also. Sorry.
Republicans, not Democrats, Eric, which makes it a bipartisan issue. You can't just go, oh, well, now, you, on the other hand, should try to go work for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, because the kind of news that you want to report is column news. You're a columnist. You're not a journalist.
I'm not a nothing.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. I'm an observer.
You'd be a great person to do columns. And you could go against Tony Messenger, who's with the Post, who has a liberal slant. You have a conservative slant. That's what they should have.
My first article would be a compare and contrast between St. Charles and St. Louis County.
It would be great.
And then the next time I
think
talk
the
to
Post
Garza,
would be very good at getting you on to do a column.
No.
If they can get you off your Wentzville couch.
No. I don't want to get carpal tunnel syndrome from typing. But the thing about it is, I think that all you have to do is do Garza. Let's do a compare and contrast of St. Charles, who didn't lock down the planet, and St. Louis County, who destroyed a lot of businesses and was very overreaching. Now, and we just go point by point by point. And then you start to think, now, Garza, I need you to make better decisions so that we don't destroy everything again next time.
Wait a minute. Who tells Garza we need to make better decisions?
Chris Renier.
Yeah, see that shit.
Chris
Renier.
Renier. Right now. Give me his number. I'll talk to him right now. On the air.
I can't even explain it.
Come on, where in the hell is Elliot Davis when I need him?
Yeah, Elliot agrees with Dr. Garza. You need that. I'm like,
well, okay, so we're talking about alpha and beta and delta variants that are going to be drug into the news cycle again, that are supposed to kill us again because the last one didn't kill us enough. I don't understand what's going on with that whole cycle that's about to come up.
by the way, from the Facebook line, Vic, why don't you have Dr. Naputi on Fox 2 up against the health department, CDC, to challenge? Now, here's the thing. I would love for this to happen. And I've tried to lay some groundwork for something like this to happen because I think we could sell it. And not against my word versus your word, but truth should always set us free. And truth should always be allowed to prove itself. You should never sequester or try to silence truth or an opportunity for something to show itself as truth or false.
Yes.
I think it would be amazing to have another perspective when it came to, quote, COVID, when it came to information for vaccinations that help people, and go from there. But I'm going to tell you right now, I very seriously doubt Dr. Garza or any other doctors in St. Louis would do a...
Why?
Because they say it's stupid, because it doesn't make any, because their research, their studies. So, oh my God, COVID's real. We don't need somebody who's not an MD telling us that this is not a serious virus because we're in the hospital seeing people dying. The problem with all of that, as we continue to talk about, is you don't hear who it affected. Yes, COVID is serious. It's not fake, but you don't hear a lot of who it affected, who died from it, and why.
Okay, from the Facebook line, I agree with this, Jerry. Good job here. When a virus mutates, it becomes weaker.
And
how does a variant become more intense?
Exactly. Dr. Naputi has explained and broken down the variants multiple times. That's not true. If somebody in national media tells you, oh my God, we got to be worried about variants. No, you don't.
Well, I've heard that variants can also be more deadly, but they don't last long because they kill their host and then, in fact, kills itself, just like MERS did. MERS was a very deadly disease.
How come COVID?
But it killed itself.
How come COVID?
And by the way, Naputi was not federally indicted.
No. Did someone say that? I missed that one.
That Naputi was not federally indicted.
No.
And if the FTC wanted to put Naputi out of business, they would have put him out of business a long time ago. And they've gone after him 3 times now because he continues to go after local health officials. Just put it this way. Before Dr. Naputi even got official paperwork on anything when they came after him the last time, all of the St. Louis media already knew because a report in the Post had already been done. I mean, somebody told the Post before the full situation actually came to light. Okay? If that's not showing you what's going on, just wake up. That's how media works, and it's unfortunate. But that's that. Damn, we got to take a quick break. Eric Johnson. Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, and Vic Faust of Fox 2. If you want to give us a call, 636-695-2915. We got an expert on UFOs coming up at 9:15.
So exciting.
You won't want to miss this.
He's already answered some questions for me, and I'm excited with what I know already.
There's a really cool show called Ancient Aliens. He's been on there, too. It's wild. I mean, stuff will blow your mind. Expecting a report from the government in the next few days when it comes to UFOs among us. What is it? What's it all about? 9:15. You won't want to miss that interview. Plus, you can share the show. 100.7 The Viper. Back right after this.
The Edge Morning Show. Back in a moment.
The Emmaus Home Poker Run fundraiser is this Saturday with an amazing after party. The run goes through Marthasville and Washington. The after party has great live music from the Bullseye WAP brands, delicious food, and of course, ice cold drinks. Be part of this fun fundraiser for Emmaus Homes this Saturday. Registration is at the Emmaus Homes Marthasville office starting at noon. For more info, go to Emmaus Homes on Facebook or emmaushomes.org.
Remember the beautiful pop and hiss listening to a brand new vinyl album? The warmth in the air, the magic of the sound. Vinyl can't be replaced, and vinyl is back. TheFinestVibes.com sells thousands of premium and collector's vinyl with hundreds of albums under $20, delivered straight to your door. Lynyrd Skynyrd, Bob Dylan, The Beatles, Prince, AC/DC, Queen, Frank Sinatra. TheFinestVibes.com has them all. Shop now. TheFinestVibes.com.
Time for some upgrades? A new deck, a privacy fence, or maybe a whole new look with new siding. But who do you call? What you gonna do? Call Bad Boys Construction LLC. They are locally owned and have over 30 years experience in every kind of fencing, siding, and deck jobs. Free estimates and everything is done right the first time. Bad Boys Construction is veteran owned and gives military discounts. So what you gonna do? Call Bad Boys Construction LLC. Online at badboysconstructionllc.godaddysites.com. On Facebook at Bad Boys Construction LLC.
Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit? It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is, your reaction times slow way down when you're high. You not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
Now another hour of The Edge Morning Show on KFNS Troy St. Charles. The Edge Morning Show.
Whether you're a pro on the job site or managing properties, clean and safe is your number one priority. And Lowe's has the pro-grade cleaning supplies you need. We go beyond the basics, bringing you commercial cleaning from top brands like Clorox, Zep, and Rubbermaid. And in larger sizes, so you can take on any cleaning job, knowing you have the quantity you need. Shop Lowe'sForPros.com and have your items delivered or pick up in store. Lowe's, the new home for pros. U.S. only.
The Edge Morning Show is coming right back.
Keep your resolution to quit cigarettes this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. I Quit Vapor carries the salt nicotine systems, their latest juice flavors, and all of their pod systems. Let their staff explain why the salt nicotine system is so effective in helping you to quit cigarettes for good. It has a much smoother delivery and allows you to adjust the amount of nicotine intake. I Quit Vapor is still your one-stop shop for everything vapor. Keep your quit cigarette resolution this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. Puff bars and disposables now available.
Travers Automotive and RV is open at their newest location, I-70 at TR Hughes, with an awesome selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Travers Automotive and RV has Ford, Chevy, Ram, Lexus, BMW, Dodge, and Nissan, as well as new RVs from Mesa Ridge and Open Range, and a huge selection of used RVs. Travers Automotive and RV has the largest inventory of lifted truck and Jeep Wrangler in the market. Travers Automotive and RV in their newest location, I-70 at TR Hughes. Online at TraversAutoandRV.com.
All right, is that a Q2 or a Q3 expense?
Dwayne's CPA went MIA. To keep his books and his sanity, he needs to find a replacement ASAP.
Hey, Johnny, have you ever heard of a fungible good?
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Since 1987, Illy HVAC has taken care of your heating and cooling needs. Call Illy HVAC today at 314-808-2162. 314-808-2162.
Viper Weather with legendary chief meteorologist Dave Murray.
Not a lot of change in our moist weather pattern from the south. A mix of clouds and sunshine. It's warm. It's very humid. And a couple of scattered showers and thunder showers here and there. The focus on the afternoon. 88. Tonight, scattered showers and thunder showers up until about 8 o'clock. And then the action very limited overnight. 68. Thursday, a very warm and humid day with a mix of clouds and sunshine, and anticipating a little increase in shower and thunder shower activity Thursday afternoon. 88. Friday and Saturday, partly sunny, nothing more than a spot thunderstorm. Very humid, and 92 each day. From the Viper Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Now back to the Edge on 100.7, The Viper.
River Electric, a Touchstone Energy cooperative. The Edge Morning Show.
Show. Local headlines now with Fox 2's Vic Faust.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind you need to hear us during breaks. Sorry, you can't.
Not this break.
That would be the Chris, there should be a private channel that people can subscribe to for that. What goes on during breaks. Anyway, the Cardinals, I love them, but they just suck right now. And I'm sorry. They're not just losing, they're getting pounded. Last 10-1. Woo! I think the only reason people are even watching the games now is the fact that they weren't able to go to before. Now they can. Yes, the Cardinals have some injuries with pitching, but their offense, which was supposed to be so good, has gone in the tank. Cardinals struggling as the Cubs continue to win and increase their lead in the division. That's right, the Chicago Cubs. Wrestling is returning to the Chase Park Plaza this August after 37 years. The organization, the NWA, will be back for 4 nights, August 28th through the 31st. Interesting side note, Eric.
Yeah.
Did you ever come across Billy Corgan in your rock days? The former lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins.
I've never met him, no.
Or the lead singer. He's the owner. He's the head of NWA Wrestling. So he made the announcement last night that it's coming back to St. Louis. Interesting stuff. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt continuing to go after illicit massage parlors because of trafficking. The Royal Day Spa in Crestwood focused this time some of the factors that they had reports of possible trafficking. You couldn't see in the windows. That's a sure sign. And on their website, people talking about things that were going on inside there.
Oh, boy.
Don't mind Tabitha. She's just...
Tabitha is...
she's like, you never know with Tabitha.
Good God.
I'm sorry.
She's
I'm making a lot of
falling
noise over here.
When you're not supposed to.
Delivery drivers are facing more and more situations of being attacked by dogs. There was one in Calhoun County yesterday. Dogs about ripped a delivery driver's arm off. And I am not... They had to fly the driver to a St. Louis hospital from Calhoun County to try and save the arm. That's Look at Your Morning Headlines.
This is the Edge Morning Show.
Mom, Ethan's in the tree again.
And we're back with more Edge.
Ethan's not in the tree again.
Ethan's in the tree.
No,
That's what they call it these days.
Quit telling on him.
What does...
I'm done with that.
I guess this is is this in reference to Massage Story Rub and Tug? What does that mean?
You're not that naive. You're just not that naive.
I was trying to play Tabitha for a second.
What if
I'm still wondering what the forehand thing is you guys were talking about on the break.
No, there is. No, I was told yesterday by one of my colleagues that we did a story last year. I guess it was from a place in Fenton that they specialized in a forehand massage.
Is that 2 hands and 2 feet, or two people
Tabitha,
with 4 hands?
Stop it!
What the
Tabitha,
hell?
Tabitha, 4 hands. Where do you think 4 hands is
I'm
going
done
to
with
come
that
from? 2 people.
I mean, don't maybe feet count.
How would you
out.
massage with your feet and your hands at the same time?
Forehand. Wait a minute. I feel like we got to figure this one out.
Chris, don't even say that. Please don't say that. We do have a good serious show here, and we like to have some fun every now and then.
There's some very serious COVID stuff we got to get back to before we get to aliens. Forehand.
I would...
You need to ask your colleague for sure what that meant.
Maybe it's
for real.
4 hands beer. Maybe
no,
it has
it's
nothing to do with
like
anything
2 people
but beer.
massaging you at the same
Oh,
time.
well, that makes sense.
That's 4
okay.
hands.
Is
well,
it?
what the hell else would it be? There's nothing else.
Well, no, I mean, Tabitha's
not
right.
even in a sick, trying to be funny
Well, no,
way.
because that makes sense. I mean, one person massages the person's neck and the other one massages their
How
feet.
is that illegal? Is that
I mean,
illegal?
what's wrong with that?
I'm looking at our comments all the way down the Facebook line. No, I would love to have a forehand massage. Why not?
I'm done with this conversation.
My muscles are sore. I work out hard.
So what's happening in St. Louis? Cardinals really suck right now, don't they?
No, they can't score.
They lost by a field goal and a touchdown.
And it's baseball. All right, we're having a little bit of fun. We appreciate you guys joining the show.
Steve's not going to take our call if he's listening.
Hey, is it true? No, I'm just 636-695-2915. If you want to give us a call, in like the next 10 minutes or so. We don't even have 10 minutes. We've got like 5 minutes. 636-695-2915. You can share the show. 100.7 The Viper FM and also 100.7 The Viper on Facebook. Love the comments as well. Coming up at 9:15. In about 7 minutes, we're going to talk with Steve Bassett of Paradigm Research.
Yes.
When it comes to the UFO saga that is going on right now, are we really going to find anything else? Interesting questions to ask Steve. If you have them, please light up our Facebook page. Well, oh my God. I love our Facebook message.
You almost got to not read it right now.
I know. I looked at it.
You almost have to not read it right now.
We got some ancient remedies. Oh, one Tracy McDonald Levin says, Vic, why is your face so red?
Yeah, and she heard you, Chris.
It
by
is
the way,
pretty red.
Your wife
I
heard
know.
you.
She heard me?
It's because I've been laughing and I'm tan. I've got a lot of sun. I have. I'm just an angel on a show with a bunch of crazies here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that would be you.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! So anyway, coming up, we'll talk with Steve about that.
Steve told me where the aliens are kept. That's my secret.
Time out. Wait a second. Wait a second.
Tabitha,
I didn't hear you, Chris.
Come on, man.
Where the alien?
Don't start with that
aliens
junk.
are kept.
Well, he didn't say it exactly like that. I had
What do you mean where
mentioned
the aliens are kept?
Well, he actually
locked up.
he corrected me. I actually mentioned, as I have on this show before, that a friend of mine who's pretty high up at the Pentagon, he's on the J8 team. I don't know if he still is.
Yeah.
He was, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows where he's at now? But anyway,
I don't believe this already.
It's true. And he told me that he went to Area 51. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
He looked. He said that everything he thinks is at Wright Patterson. He said, it goes several stories under the ground.
Yeah.
Well, and I was telling this by email to Steve Bassett, and Steve Bassett's like, no. He said everything is at the Dugway Proving Grounds. I have never heard of.
Holy crap! You're going to
the
get us
Dugway
killed. What? Don't
Proving
say
Grounds.
stuff like that on the air. I do not need a black helicopter in back of us
I'm
shooting through the
guessing
window.
People know this. I just did not know this. I have never heard of the Dugway Proving Grounds, and I've been so busy I haven't had time to look it up. But that's something we can talk to him about too. I don't know what these Dugway Proving Grounds are. I think it's like a testing area for nuclear weapons. I don't know. That's what I saw.
So that's
online.
where they keep the aliens and where
So
the nuclear
apparently,
weapons are?
That's where the majority of stuff was eventually moved to. So versus I think Area 51 is just a big waste of everyone's time. People, if you're going to be looking for the
Well, it's a moneymaker.
USO
it's the
information,
decoy.
it is.
It's
It
the
is.
decoy.
It's the decoy. Dugway Proving Grounds is where you want to go.
Come on down to Dugway Proving Grounds tonight.
And
I mean,
he-
it sounds like a bar.
And he's going to be able to talk to us about what is going to happen in these congressional hearings. In my opinion, and I've been saying this for a while, I think it's all coming down to the national security threat. And I only say that because we keep hearing higher ups at the Pentagon throwing that out there, national security threat.
Well, when Newt Gingrich tweeted about this about a month ago, I got, and not that I agree with Newt Gingrich, but when he put out of nowhere, and I can't remember word for word what he said, but it was basically like, get ready for a lot of information coming out.
Exactly. Wait a minute,
really?
And it's going to be in the
Yes.
hearings. It's not going to be on this report that's released. It's going to be in the hearings, not the report.
Well, it's to me, Trump has tried to say something.
He has.
Trump has been very coy about it.
He
But so was Obama. Obama
True.
was very coy about
Also
it.
true.
Putin came out and basically said that there were aliens at some point, didn't he? Didn't Putin come out and say we got some stuff that we've got over the years, and there are aliens? I mean, there are leaders that know stuff about
But here's
stuff.
something that I think is important to point out is that a lot of people, when I talk about this, a lot of people are saying maybe it's just smoke and mirrors. Maybe it's the other shiny object to distract us. But
From
we
what?
have to remember that the reason why this is being talked about is because of Trump. Because Trump would not sign.
I don't think so.
No, no.
Trump
This
hasn't
is a
said-
fact.
This is true. I
This
talked
is a
to Tabitha
fact,
about
Eric.
this
It's a
before.
fact. It is a fact that Trump would not sign some of these relief bills unless they agreed to disclose this information.
Correct.
So this is against what Democrats want to do. This is what Trump wants to do. But now a lot of Democrats, I think, are coming on board equally. This is one actually issue where they're coming together and say, yes, this is something we need to be concerned with. It's something we need to talk about, and it's become very nonpartisan.
Here, it was from an audio interview with Newt Gingrich. He said, quote, "No matter what the UFOs turn out to be, we have a civilization so superior to us that we can't compete technologically.
Right.
We need to figure out what these UFOs are for the safety of our country."
And that's when we get into
And I don't think-
dangerous
Really?
territory.
Is that true? I mean, have you ever seen a UFO with a laser beam knock some city out? No, you haven't.
That's because they're
I mean,
not violent,
Yeah,
obviously.
but Newt doesn't necessarily know what he's talking about. He's just guessing like the rest of us.
But they're not guessing. Here's what we have to remember. There are people in this country who know what our classified programs consist of. There are people in this country who have spies in other countries and know what their classified systems consist of. And no one seems to think that their classified programs here or there are responsible.
Well, okay, Newt is fine. Okay, what? Newt is fine, but it's an analogy time. Maybe the aliens are like us looking at an ant farm. Maybe the aliens are like, oh, look at these cute little. We'll just observe them. We're not going to destroy them. Obviously, we could if we wanted to, but that's not really our thing.
I think they're
And
nonviolent.
maybe they're just observing us. Maybe they're experimenting with us. Maybe they're looking at us as like these creatures in the universe, and maybe that's kind of how it is. Maybe who knows what they're doing?
And maybe Steve can shed some light on that. I honestly don't know. But what I told Steve was my fear is that I feel like they're nonviolent. They've allegedly been around for centuries. I mean, there's hieroglyphs that depict potentially
That's true.
UFOs.
Tabitha's all in.
I am actually. You know what? I would be the first person that would be out there trying to talk to them.
Odd hieroglyphs that she's talking about
Absolutely.
from like
Well, we brought 'em up.
4,000 years ago.
And the pyramids. Isn't it odd that the pyramids,
Ancient Aliens show,
Right.
the one I watched about a week and a half ago, focused on this.
and there are actually alleged spaceships, alien technology that actually looks like a pyramid. I mean, is that a coincidence?
Well,
How do we
it
know?
screws with a lot of people because if you're not the dominating thing on the planet and something else is the dominate, now you're right. National security and people panic. Maybe they're doing the right thing by not telling us. One question we can give this guy.
They have to tell us. You know why they have to tell us?
No, I
because these sightings are becoming every day. They're becoming more aggressive, and they're actually confronting our
aggressive?
military, our naval ship, not too long ago.
We're the
And
ones chasing them around.
Well, no, that's not true.
Well-
I think that we're to the point where our government has to address it because we know this technology doesn't exist through
Well,
us.
regardless, it's time to talk with Steve Bassett of Paradigm Research because on the Viper, we talk about everything. On the Morning Edge, we cover everything. Steve, good morning. Thanks for taking some time to join us. First of all, where are you based out of and where are you joining us from this morning?
My office in Washington, D.C. in the National Press Building.
All right. And are you on a speakerphone or are you on a call? Or are you on a phone right now?
I'm on a phone with a...
Okay, because I could barely hear you for a second. All right.
Really? This mic is not working too well?
Perfect. There you
Okay,
go.
That's a little bit better.
Yeah, that's better. Hey, thanks for taking time. I can tell you this much: we sit here like like most Americans and just spew the stuff out because we really don't know. This is your life. Where do we start when we start talking about a report that's going to be given to us at some point in time, and what we can expect from that report when it regards what we refer to as UFOs?
That report is going to be serviceable. It will provide some information to the Senate Intelligence Committee that will be useful. It will not be some monumental event by any means. What's going on now is a very strategic process. And the easiest way to describe it in the short amount of time we have is that our government made a decision back in the late 1940s, early 1950s, that the existence of these extraterrestrials and the vehicles that are in our airspace, which was confirmed to them in 47 in July at Roswell, no later than that, maybe before, had to be withheld from the American people. It had to be essentially embargoed for national security reasons. That embargo was serious. They weren't fooling around. They had very strong reasons why they absolutely did not want this out until they knew more about it and they knew where things were going to eventually unfold with the Soviet Union. That embargo is still in place 74 years later. However, the process of getting out from under it is going on right now. And I say process because it's not simply, oh, one day the president's going to just get up and tell the United States that there is an extraterrestrial presence. It couldn't happen that way. There's real issues involved. And so in order to get out from a lie this long and this implicative, the process is fairly elaborate. And the Congress needs to be involved. The DOD needs to prepare for it. There has to be some efforts on the part of a number of groups to participate so that people are not singled out, meaning, oh, we're going to blame you, or we're going to blame the DOD, or we're going to blame the Navy or the Air Force or whatever. In other words, it's a public relations process underway, and this report is just one strategy in that public relations. I know a lot of people go, well, wait a minute, why don't they just tell us? Well, this is a complicated society. This is a massive issue, and the embargo, which is legal, it's been going on for 3/4 of a century. So you just don't suddenly just wake up one morning and, snap your fingers and it's gone. I do believe that this embargo will end this summer. I believe we're going to have hearings announced pretty soon. Those hearings will bring in military witnesses. Those military witnesses will provide enough evidence under oath before the world. I mean, hundreds of millions will watch these hearings. And the president will then be in a position to comfortably finally confirm. That's what I think is going to happen.
So we have so many questions. Maybe we can extend this segment. I hope we can. I mean, one question, if they're going to release the report, have a Senate or a House hearing, however that's going to work, one of the main questions that you would ask under oath would be, if we're starting to let this information out, can you tell us about the Roswell incident? It was not a weather balloon. It was something alien related. What was it? Can't a senator ask that question? And if they hem-haw about that, then the cat and mouse game continues from that point forward.
Yeah, you don't want to boil it down that simply. Let's say that the first hearing will probably be in front of the Senate Intel Committee, because that's the committee. Well, it's considered the committee on national security matters, and it's the one that asked for the report. So I think the committee will be the first, and the people that will call for it will be Mark Warner, the chair, and Marco Rubio, the ranking member. And they will be focusing on military witnesses on the basis of national security. That's the basis for these hearings, has to be. And so they can ask anything they want. All right. They're going to be interviewing. They're going to be getting testimony from primarily almost all military witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
Count on that. These are the best kind. They're vetted. You know their career. They took an oath when they signed up. They took an oath when they sat down at the table. These are great witnesses, and they're going to have extraordinary testimony. The committee members can ask them anything they want. I believe the committees will behave themselves unlike we haven't seen in a while, because this is a nonpartisan issue, national security matter. There's simply no need for any of the silly posturing that you've seen in the past.
Right.
I think they're going to conduct themselves well. They can ask her any question, and it'll go like this. If they ask a question to one of the military witnesses, most of these will be, by the way, retired, but most of their NDAs are for life. If the person can't answer it because it would violate one of their NDAs based on their service, what they will say is not, I have to take the fifth, this is not a prosecution. They will say, look, I cannot answer that, Senator, in open hearing, but I could certainly answer it in a classified hearing.
Mm.
And it'll kind of go like that. There are a number of very tough questions they could answer, but in many cases the witnesses simply won't. That's not their area. They don't know. But again, keep in mind, I believe that the process is to create a safe space for the president to finally confirm the ET president.
Hey, Steve.
Go ahead.
Oh, my concern, and I expressed this a little bit by email, my concern is that we hear the term national security threat so often right now. And what I believe, and I believe you probably believe, that extraterrestrial life has been around probably far earlier than human life was. And if that's the case, they appear to be non-violent. And what worries me is that humans are violent. We tend to want to destroy anything we don't understand. And I feel like that's probably the reason why we have to ease people into this, because I think that I don't want our military out attacking people who have left us largely alone for centuries.
This is a lot of people feel this way, and I think you're on the the right track. National security is the political basis on which you have to approach this. You can't go to committee chairs, and there have been plenty of meetings, private meetings with committee members and congressional members over the last 2 years, which were not available to the media. This is all preparatory to getting these hearings going. But you can't go to the Congress and say, we want to have hearings in order to create an embassy and a welcome center for the ETs when they arrive, things like that. No, that's not going to go. There is a legitimate national security concern here. Is it a threat? I think I discourage anyone to use threat. Potential threat? Yes. And there's a significant difference between the two. But one of the key testimonies you will hear in these hearings happens to do with nuclear weapons sampling, where the ETs have come down and turned off our missiles frequently.
Wow.
And they've done it in Russia and Soviet Union. Any reasonable person would say, well, that's a national security matter. But if you actually were to review all the statements that have been made in writing and interviews by key people in the Tuthers Academy, such as Christopher Mellon and Luis Elizondo, they both left the TTSA to act independently with respect to these hearings. You will find that they refer to that. They kind of go out of the way to let you know that just because it's national security doesn't mean imminent threat. But there's so many people talking that every once in a while they slide into potential threat and threat. Don't get too concerned at this point. National security is a legitimate basis for these hearings. The testimony will unfold as it will. But I can tell you that a number of the nuclear tampering witnesses, these are SAC-based officers, retired. By the way, by and large, the consensus among these former SAC-based officers is that these incidents were not actually a direct threat to the United States, but rather a message to the United States. And so, again, don't get too concerned yet, but understand national security must be the basis for the political class to hold these hearings and have it not be a huge risk for them politically.
We're talking with Steve Bassett from Paradigm Research when it comes to the upcoming report from the government, when it comes to, quote, UFOs, aliens, that sort of nature. Steve, if you could be as direct as possible when it comes to the sightings, when it comes to evidence for extraterrestrial life, aliens, UFOs, let our listeners and our viewers on Facebook at 100.7 The Viper know right now why there is no doubt in your mind that there are others living amongst us or others visiting us.
Living amongst us is a different matter. It's simple. You have to review the evidence. It's like if you want to find somebody guilty of a difficult case, a murder, you're on the jury, and you may listen to the testimony for 2 or 3 weeks from the prosecutors and the defense attorneys. And after you've heard all of that evidence, you retire and you decide if it's beyond a reasonable doubt. If you don't sit in that jury and will listen to all that testimony, you can't have an opinion. Though people will anyway. They'll say, "Oh, I thought he was not guilty." Well, were you on the jury? Well, no, I just read an article. No. I'm familiar with the evidence.
Well, no, tell us about evidence.
Yes.
Tell us. No, I mean, it's not about juries. I mean, what have you seen or talked to people or firsthand accounts? Because people will see things on TV, but what are some of the things that you've heard about, that you studied about, that should get people go, oh, yeah, that's evidence?
Since we don't have 2 or 3 hours, let me just make it simple. If you want to understand Roswell, there have been hundreds of books. However, scores of books. There's one book that nails it down, and that's Witness to Roswell, extended edition. You want the extended, by Don Schmidt and Thomas Carey. If you read that book, any reasonable person will get it, that Roswell was exactly what it's claimed to be. It was an ET vehicle. It crashed. We got the bodies. We got one living, and we got the vehicle. So once you get that down, then you know something very important. That no later than July of 1947, the United States government knew there is an extraterrestrial presence, and they have a crashed vehicle. And they've known that ever since. Okay. Then, with respect to the truth embargo, not UFO cover-up, truth embargo, what it was. The book is UFOs in the National Security State, Volume 1 by Richard Dolan, 1951 and 1973. If you read that book, recently I reread it, where he just lays it all out. And as part of his analysis and recounting as a historian of what the government was doing, the government was saying in documents and so forth, he's in a chronological order, contemporary with these accounts. He's putting in some of the more important sightings. There have been thousands, and some are weak, some are very strong. He's putting in the strong ones. So you're literally reading the kinds of cases that were being submitted as you're seeing what the government did. And when you finish this book, hell, when you get through the first 200 pages, you will understand that there is a truth embargo imposed by the government. So you've got two pretty big facts there, right there. The government's known since 1947, and there's been a truth embargo. And the reason you got to at least, and again, I'm giving you two books that pretty much nail it down, but there are plenty of other books. The point is that once you get that, it's a little easier to understand what's happening right now, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Things that have come from the Pentagon and then be retracted, and then this person comes forward as well, and then the other person, and you're seeing a lot of chaos, and you're going, this doesn't make sense. Why? And some of the statements tend to be equivocating. And the only way it makes sense is if you understand the government already knows there's an ET presence. The government has ET vehicles and bodies, and has been studying in unacknowledged special access programs this phenomena with billions of dollars over the last 74 years. What you're seeing now is like a public relations process designed to go from truth embargo to the post-disclosure world in such a way that it does minimum damage to institutions and people, and everybody looks good as possible.
It makes sense to me. I mean, it's like if you're going to open a dam, you don't just let the gates completely fly open. You kind of trickle the water out until the thing kind of has its own flow going. My question to you is, where is this like its own bureaucracy? Does the president not know about this? It doesn't seem like the people that are in the know are accountable to anybody. Is that true, or does this thing run all the way up the Pentagon right to the president? Where does it stop? Who are the people that know about what's going on?
The best answer I can give you is this. The rise of the national security state, or what is sometimes called the military intelligence complex, which really begins right after World War II and really gets underway in 1947, has created a massive entity that needs significant reform. It just hasn't gotten it. Almost all the efforts to try to really reform it, whistleblowers coming out, they end up in jail. American people just haven't got the stomach for it. But it is a high priority matter, and it needs to happen. And as a result, the reason it needs to reform is that it's getting out of hand. And one of the many ways it's getting out of hand is that massively important issues like the extraterrestrial presence were taken out from under the president. The president is not informed. The president is not briefed. The president does have access. The president doesn't need to know. And also from out from under congressional oversight. And so what you have is almost a fully independent fiefdom, which it's not known who are the managers. There isn't a complete line of order and command on it, and that is not something we want. That's got to be fixed. And so with respect to the ET issue, which is the most highly classified matter in the U.S. government, more highly classified than our atomic weapons program,
wow, so
presidents are cut out of it. They're cut out of it, and that's not something the American people.
So that kind of leads into the next question with that. What technology do you think has been reverse engineered through this? I mean, there's a few things from a few people from Lockheed Martin that has trickled things out that have talked about these magnetic fields, and they talk about propulsion systems. What do you think that we're using right now besides semiconductors that were back engineered from some of these aircraft that we might have captured?
Roswell, the day after Roswell by Philip Corso outed the fact that we tried to inculcate some subsidiary technologies into our companies way back. It might have been helpful, and that might have happened. I think it was somewhat overstated in the book. But we know with some certainty, I think, that the government has intensely tried to understand the antigravitic properties of the craft and the energy system of the craft. So we have to think that there's a possibility they have re-engineered both. There is some evidence that we have antigravitic craft in our portfolio. Not available for public use, but they've got it. it's less known to what extent they have come to understand the energy systems of these craft and whether they have actually created our own version. Don't know about that. But those are two the most important technologies are the propulsion and the energy system.
Yeah.
They're transformative if we can actually make them work. And I think antigravitics have been made to work. There may be other technologies that have emerged. So in general, the truth embargo, one of the results of the truth embargo is that whatever technological benefits could come from that ET re-engineering and study is sequestered. It's embargoed. In other words, they cannot put it into public use because that would out the truth embargo, and until they're ready to do that, it must remain sequestered. And then the question is, what advantages are we missing there? What benefits are we missing, given that the world is facing a plethora of very serious problems? And I think plenty of people inside our government understand this now, which is why there has been an internal movement within our own military intelligence complex to finally get this truth embargo ended and move forward.
Hey, Steve, the question I've received most often when I was, explaining to people you were coming on the show, people want to know, are there extraterrestrials that live amongst us on the Earth? Have people actually seen them? And what specific accounts can you tell us about where people have actually seen these people or can prove that they do live amongst us?
I don't think the evidence confirms it live amongst us. I don't think so. They almost certainly have facilities here, bases. They could be operating from our solar system, bases we cannot detect, and so forth, somewhere in the solar system. But I think the evidence leans pretty strongly toward the fact they have their own bases and facilities, which we simply cannot get to.
But they're not like shapeshifters. They can't look like humans and work with us or talk to us or pass us in the mall and we wouldn't know who they were. I mean, I don't believe that's the case. I believe they are their own life form and not like humans.
It's complicated. You see, one of the areas that will come later in this process, not in the pre-disclosure world, it'll be developed out on the other side, in the post-disclosure world, is the area of contact. There is contact, but it's not open contact. It's covert. And there have been hundreds and hundreds of thousands of reports that have been submitted. Many of them have been written up in scores of books. Contact is happening. And it has many forms. And the people, we generally like to call them contactees. Some are abductees, called abductees, because their experience pretty much mimics what an abduction would be like. This is a big deal. You can imagine the political problems here. You can imagine the public relations issues there. But they'll have to face it. They have no choice. But it won't be initially. They initially won't be.
Right, I've read those accounts.
Yeah. And so now, because of all these contacts that have taken place and all the reports that have been submitted privately by mail and email to researchers, no intention of fame or making money, we know a lot about these ETs. A number of the contactees are artists. They've painted them. They've drawn them. You can find these images on the internet. It's more than one type. But as it happens, one type is virtually identically human.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So, Steve, what are some...
And that is interesting. Does that mean they're living amongst us now? No, it does not.
Right.
But it means that...
Biologically, it's interesting.
The implications of the human-looking ETs, and I mean human-looking, they could sit down in front of you and you wouldn't know it, are profound. And I've talked about this. There's only one logical explanation for such entities. By the way, they're telepathic, they're gorgeous, I say gorgeous, that's kind of relative, but they're telepathic, they're incredibly impressive entities. They look like Swedish ski instructors and stuff. So, there's only one explanation for this that makes any sense, and that is that in the past, many thousands of years ago, 100,000 years ago, extraterrestrials have taken a number of humans off planet. And they have developed off planet. And so they have, and they've been modified. They've been genetically improved and so forth, but they're basically still human. And I think the reason they're here now is because there's a big thing going down right now. This is a significant moment in our history, and I think it's kind of like they wanted to be around to see it. So that gives you a sense of the complications. But it gets worse, because an ET, such as the Greys, can make you see things you don't see. So this has been recorded profoundly a lot in the report. In other words, you go to the window and there'll be an owl there, big owl, dark eyes, and you think you see an owl. In fact, it's a gray. They can actually manipulate your mind to be able to see what you want.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
And so you could be seeing what seems to be a human being. Now, that's not shape-shifting. That is, well, it's just tuning your mind to see something else. That's pretty significant, pretty powerful. So that you see how complicated you get. Plus, you can see why people have a lot of theories about this, because it is a confusing, complicated thing. But it ultimately comes down to something very simple. There are billions of planets. Ours is not special.
Right.
There's nothing special about our planet. Well, let me put it this way. There's uniqueness about our planet because we evolved for billions of years in a enclosed environment by and large, and so what evolves over that time is going to be unique from virtually anything else in the galaxy. And so we're unique, but special, no. So there are plenty of other planets. They have biospheres. They develop sentient beings. They develop technology, and they get to the point where they can go interstellar. That is, in the simplest form, exactly what's going on in my view. We're less than 100 years from being able to build interstellar craft based on current development.
That's amazing.
Wow. Steve, are we getting more accounts of seeing, quote, UFOs now? And what are some of the ones that really put you over the edge when it comes to, well, of course, people would see that and go without having to go read them up in books?
I think, well, the gun camera footage that was released to the New York Times by Christopher Mellon from the TTSA is pretty impressive. The more you know about the technology that captures those objects, the more profound it is. People that don't understand the technology say, well, it looks fuzzy to me. Our government has thousands of these. That's just 3. Our government has thousands. Expect to see more. But the Tic Tac footage combined with the visual sightings by the pilots, as well as the radar sightings by the Princeton, you put that together, it's a slam dunk. We don't have things that can go from hovering right above the ocean and shoot up to 30, 40, 50,000 feet in a second or less. We don't have that. Nobody has that.
Yeah.
So that's it, slam dunk. But again, the more you know about the tech and the more you know about the issue, the easier it is to go, yeah, that's a slam dunk. People that don't, they'll go, well, it could be this, it could be that. That's good enough for me. As far as the various sightings, no single sighting proves anything. People are looking for smoking guns. Smoking gun is one of the great myths and illusions of human society. There are virtually no such thing. There's very few smoking guns out there. So, but that Tic Tac footage, those 3 gun camera footages, when they were put up on the website of the New York Times, and they've now been seen by 1 billion or more people easily around the world, that was it. That was the Rubicon. The disclosure movement was never going to return back. It was never going to have to back up. And it was just straightforward from there.
I think that some of the most compelling evidence is the sound that you get from ATC controllers and maybe cops that are saying, there's something above me. I have no idea what it is. That's always been the most intriguing stuff to me. My question is this. Since thousands of millennium ago, and just there have been documentation of aliens, of extraterrestrial in picture form, the hieroglyphics. Why has there been, let's say that it was just public knowledge back then. Why is there a hole between, let's say, the pyramid era and the Mayan era and whoever else saw aliens and documented in their stones to now? Why did that history get destroyed, or where did it go?
Not destroyed. Think of it this way. Our civilization is about 10,000 years old. There might have been some pre-flood civilizations, but I don't think they were that big. Nevertheless, we go with 10,000. Humans have been around, actual humans, people who could be born and get educated and go to MIT or Harvard, have been around for about 200 to 300,000 years. I believe the ETs have checked in on us throughout that time. I believe the types varied. One type might turn up just a certain time, and then 1,000 years later, another one turn up. They've been dropping in and out. But so what? right? I mean, you drop in at 200,000 years ago. What are you seeing? So that's been going on for a long time. We are a unique biosphere of great interest to any sophisticated civilization. However, all that starts to change as we reach 1900. In 1900 is when the technological curves start to turn upward. Those curves start getting steeper and steeper. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I
And
do. I do. It's that you're right. I mean, was it? I mean, I guess we'll never find out. But where it was the aliens saying we got to leave these guys alone now. They're starting to get into advanced technological abilities because it seems like they were helping. It seems like they were helping humans 2,000 years ago build pyramids, or do whatever they were doing at Stonehenge. It seems like they were helping humans maybe a little bit more than they are today.
Let me rephrase that for you. Their ability to interact with, I'm a fan of Ancient Aliens. I've been in about 6 or 7 of them. The Ancient Aliens has got a lot right there. There's a lot more right than people, the archaeologists would accept. But it's just the opposite. Back then, they could drop down, hang out for a while, do what they wanted, then leave. No big deal. That was then. They may have, and there may be gaps because for hundreds of years they just weren't checking in. Who knows? But everything changes around 1900 when the technology curves swing up, and we're becoming a true global civilization. And that meant they started paying much closer attention. And then you had the milestone event of 1945. They watched as we designed, tested, and then used the atomic bomb, and we dropped them on ourselves. That was a major move for them. They're also aware of our technology curve with respect to physics and with respect to interstellar travel. And so why you're having such intense activity the last 74 years, starting in 47, is directly connected to that. It's connected to the atomic weapons and other technologies. And there's three aspects of this. One of the most important is this. If we're going to develop interstellar drive, if we don't destroy ourselves with a nuclear war this century, and then we're going to put atomic weapons on them and fly on out to space to see what's what, and that can't happen. And I believe that one of the reasons they're intervening is that before that can happen, they've helped drive a disclosure process, which ultimately leads to the disclosure event, and then I think leads to open contact, and then we're going to have a little chat with them about our nuclear weapons. So that's one reason. The other reason is that the technological curve trends now have exceeded our ability to manage them. And the simple analogy I use is this. Imagine a bunch of elementary third graders out on the playground with squirt guns, just running around and squirting each other and having a fun time. And then some bad boys turn up, right? And they park in the parking lot, and they open the trunk, and they start handing out Glock pistols, with fully loaded Glock pistols to these kids and trading them for their squirt guns and saying, look, we're upgrading your technology. Guess what would happen? A lot of elementary kids would be shooting each other.
Good point.
Right.
Good point.
Yeah. So, but now imagine this. Imagine there's a group of adults off to the side, and they turn and notice that these kids are starting to hand out Glocks, trading Glocks for squirt guns. What are they going to do? They're going to go, oh, that's not going to go well. No, they're going to rush over and stop it. They're going to intervene. See, we've got a number of technological trends that are moving so rapidly that we simply do not have the moral, ethical ability to deal with them or even to manage them, such as countries with level 4 epidemiology labs where they're studying advanced viruses and trying to gain a function on them so that they could be even more lethal and so forth, and then somebody walks out the door infected. We're way over our head when it comes to AI, when it comes to robotics, and other things. And so we're basically now the biggest danger to humans is humans. It is not extraterrestrial.
Right.
So intervention, as I think, is on many fronts here. They needed to intervene now for a number of reasons, and it ultimately with disclosure event worldwide, capital D, and then I'm going 2 years. I just love that 2-year time frame. I think it just fits. We'll have the open contact that this has always been aiming for, then we'll see how we handle that open contact and what they have to say to us in a public forum. In other words, they're dealing with humans on a one-on-one, but I'm talking about dealing with us as a society in open contact, and that there's exchanges going on, and we're getting the reports of that. Here's what the ETs are saying. Here's what we're saying to them. That could be just 2 years after disclosure. Since I think disclosure is happening this summer, we could be looking at open contact in 2023 if you're.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, I
ready for
have
that.
one last question for you
Yeah, 'cause
before
we
we
gotta
go,
get
because I know
going.
we're running out of time. A listener asked, are there really men in black? Do they exist?
Yes. There were a number of. They were using people in civilian clothing were being used to intimidate people way back because they didn't. It was awkward to show up in an Air Force uniform, and so this intimidation and these types of individuals created this concept of the men in black. So there's legitimacy to it. Whether it's still going on now, and it's not. I don't think it is going on now. But there was a period there where they were using that technique, created that myth. They're not like the ones in the movies, though those movies are pretty cool. I like them.
Right.
But it was part of the early intimidation efforts, which were a little more necessary back then. So yeah, there are men in black. Were rather.
Steve Bassett from Paradigm Research. Hey, my friend, thanks again. Can we give you a call again when everything gets out there so we can check back in and just see what's going on?
My job is to give interviews and inform. So I assure you, you call, I'm there.
All right. Well, Tabitha made a good contact with you. We are grateful for your time, Steve. Thanks again for educating us, and we'll catch back up with you. All right. Have a great day.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. Steve Bassett, Paradigm Research. We got to take a quick break. We'll come back and talk about what we just heard. There's a lot there. There's so much to roll out. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2, back right after this to talk about that. Curious to get your thoughts as well right after this.
The Edge Morning Show is coming right back.
Keep your resolution to quit cigarettes this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. I Quit Vapor carries the salt nicotine systems, their latest juice flavors, and all of their pod systems. Let their staff explain why the salt nicotine system is so effective in helping you to quit cigarettes for good. It has a much smoother delivery and allows you to adjust the amount of nicotine intake. I Quit Vapor is still your one-stop shop for everything vapor. Keep your quit cigarette resolution this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. Puff bars and disposables now available.
Travers Automotive and RV is open at their newest location, I-70 at TR Hughes, with an awesome selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Travers Automotive and RV has Ford, Chevy, Ram, Lexus, BMW, Dodge, and Nissan, as well as new RVs from Mesa Ridge and Open Range, and a huge selection of used RVs. Travers Automotive and RV has the largest inventory of lifted truck and Jeep Wrangler in the market. Travers Automotive and RV in their newest location, I-70 at TR Hughes. Online at traversautoandrv.com.
Mom, Ethan's in the tree again.
Ethan, get down.
Can I climb on the swing set instead?
Sounds like it's time to get all your adventure-seeking kids to Holiday World and Splash and Safari. They'll soar on Thunderbird, race against each other on Cheetah Chase, the first launched water coaster, and get the thrills they love on all the wooden roller coasters. Get your family fun off the ground at holidayworld.com.
Free smoking! Free parking! Free sunscreen!
Bentley's Marine and Electronics is open in Lake St. Louis and ready to serve you. Check out their marine section for boat accessories, marine audio, water floats and supplies. Upgrade your vehicle with a new stereo, amp, speakers, reverse camera, remote start, and more. And don't forget the home theater. Shop local with confidence and let Bentley's Marine and Electronics show you that they meet or beat the big box stores. On Lake St. Louis Boulevard across from Denny's. Online at Bentley'sElectronics.com and on Facebook at Bentley's Marine and Electronics.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Weber Chevrolet has been in business since 1902. No other car dealer in St. Louis of any brand can say that. Nobody sells more Chevrolet, period. Weber Chevrolet is one dealer with 3 roofs. In Missouri at Olive and 270, and in Illinois Metro East, Columbia, and Granite City. All easy to get to, just follow the 270 loop. Also, all online accessible at WeberChevrolet.com. Right now, Weber Chevrolet is open but very thorough in their cleaning, disinfecting, and social distancing rules. And don't forget, Weber Chevrolet service departments are award-winning and second to none. In fact, other dealers send their problems to Weber Chevy to fix. Now during this crisis, Weber Chevrolet has teamed up with Detroit to come up with awesome deals to help people save money and manage their budget. Discounts, incentives, and the ability to not make your payment for up to 4 months. Weber Chevrolet since 1902, WeberChevrolet.com.
This is Tabitha with a quick message about Rankin Technical College. Have you considered that a traditional 4-year degree isn't for everyone? Attending a trade school doesn't mean your child isn't intelligent, and it certainly doesn't mean they aren't driven. Right now, the trades is a really hot market. Your son or daughter can earn their degree within 9 months to 2 years. They can come out right out of the gate in a lifetime career making up to $60,000 a year. And that's just a starting salary. Fall semester begins on August 23rd. Log in to rankin.edu and make an appointment with a counselor today.
Get a grip on your finances with People's Bank and Trust's new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills with ease and all from the palm of your hand. Activate your phone today by visiting us online at www.pbtc.net. People's Bank and Trust. Hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Today, I'm taking it to the streets to give people the good news. Oh, excuse me. Hello. I'm Flo from Progressive, and did you know...
No, I'm just waiting for the bus.
So then you have time to hear about how with Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance.
Yeah, if I was interested in talking to you, which I'm not.
Okay, I'll do the talking, and you just check if you can be saving, which is going to be pretty hard to do if you put on your headphones. Okay.
See if you're paying too much for home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. What do you think about that gas?
What if Rankin Tech had an alien technology class?
It's coming in the next century. Steve Bassett from
Anti-gravitational propulsion systems at Rankin Technical School.
I like that gas. He had so much information. It was difficult to follow him at times, and a little mumbling, but my God.
Well,
so much information.
The thing about it is, it's all anecdotal. So you can say that there's
I
ghosts.
like the music, Chris.
You can say there's ghosts.
I like that.
And you can say you've seen a door open by itself. But does that prove there are ghosts?
I think it only proves it to the person who has seen it, if that makes sense.
No,
I mean, you
doesn't.
can tell me you
No.
saw a ghost in your house last night, and I might be like, well, I don't know if I believe ghosts exist. But you saw it, so you know. Does that make sense?
Nope.
I've not been abducted by aliens. I've never seen one. I've never even seen a UFO. So to me, I believe that it exists because I think it's silly to believe we are the only people, the only life in the universe. Not because I've seen it.
I think one of my dogs is a chupacabra, but I'm not sure.
I think you're a chupacabra.
See, you cannot do these segments and take them seriously.
I took it very seriously.
You
You took
can't.
it seriously.
Because it's
You
speculation.
took it very seriously.
Because I can
of course
say
it's
anything.
speculation.
I can say
but,
anything.
But is it really speculation when you see these videos like we saw of the Navy and the Navy ship
No.
where they had all of these objects and one of them went under the water? I mean, that's really not speculation. We can see it with our
The
eyes.
only thing that Eric, we can't speculate when it comes to the technology we're seeing. Something's
True.
going on. It's either from out of this quote world or our planet, or it's specialized, incredible military technology that we could have never imagined have gotten to this point.
Could it make sense that it is our own government that knows how to
They've already
manipulate
said
gravity?
that is one thing people in our government have already said is that it's not our technology. And when
Why
they
would I
release this
disclose
report,
that if it was even true?
That's a good point, but
well, whenever they release this report, that is the only thing it's purported to say is that it is not our technology. It's not expected to be the technology. We don't have the technology to travel at the speed of light and to make the type of maneuvers that these crafts are making.
And we have developed some serious tech in the last
We
100
have,
years.
but we not that. I mean, we are not.
Hell, cold fusion, for God's sakes. And we can now create the
But we
sun
can't travel.
on Earth.
We can't travel the speed of light. We cannot.
How do you know that?
Because it is impossible. It
Did
is
you
impossible.
see Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory? You can
Oh my
do
gosh.
it. It happened on a movie set.
Eric, do you or Chris, you have ghosts at your house?
Oh, yeah.
I do believe in ghosts, Tracy, by the way. I saw your comment, but I haven't finished the comment.
Ghosts, but
Spirits.
I
There's no
absolutely
doubt
What's the
there's
difference?
spirits. Well, however you want to term them.
They're ghosties. They are able to walk around in
wanna-
another dimension, which is
Tomorrow,
light
Chris,
and energy.
Tomorrow,
Hello.
Chris, because we got to get out of here in a minute.
Look, I got a
need
great analogy.
I
I
need
wish I could give it
examples
now.
of what's happening at your house with spirits.
I do too. I have seen
It's
a
not
ghost.
good, I'll tell you that right
I
now.
believe in it. I have. My mom and I
Of
both saw
course
it at
you've
the
seen a
same
ghost.
time.
Where
I am
okay.
not kidding
There's
you at all. We'll get
nothing
into that
that
another
Tabitha
time.
hasn't done.
You
This
can't
That's the
paranormal.
only thing I've ever
There's
seen.
nothing. She literally has a Sasquatch in her apartment right now
She's
because
got-
she, because she
And-
feels sorry for him.
And she
I
keeps a
don't
unicorn
believe
the
in
basement.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, the damn unicorn keeps poking her clothing in the
I
closet.
actually I don't believe in Bigfoot. I truly do not believe Bigfoot exists. I really don't.
She's just saying that because
No,
she
I'm
doesn't
not
want
just
anyone to
saying
come
that.
see her Bigfoot
No,
in her
no, no,
apartment.
I do believe in ghosts. I absolutely do not believe in Bigfoot.
Okay. We got to get out of here. What a great show. We appreciate everybody. We'll come back.
She doesn't believe in Bigfoot. That's
Do
some of the
you
most
believe in
compelling
Bigfoot?
video evidence.
Do you?
Yes!
It's a person walking around in a hairy costume or a bear.
Otherwise, it's Tabitha calls that a Saturday night.
Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Big Faust of Fox 2. Thanks for joining us. We cover it all. We'll put together a show for tomorrow as well. We love you. We appreciate it. Oh, my God. Someone plays drums, and it's when Tyler isn't home. Are you kidding me?
Dude, you got to
Your
go over there
house?
sometime. It's
Get some
scary.
weird stuff.
I'm scared to come over.
I saw the ghost at their house one night. I did. True story.
Were you drinking?
No, I wasn't. I mean, anyway, we got to go.
And you're making fun of me.
No, I'm purple. That's the tie color tonight. Purple.
All right. Have a great day. I don't know what I'm wearing yet, Chris. We got to get there
Purple.
every time. We'll see you for Fox Studios at 5.
Show's over.
Okay, show's over.
Now just get out, all of you.
Neither one of us has anywhere else to go.
Please leave.
Go, buddy.
Oh, that was fun. I think it went really well, really well.
Well, I see by the clock on the wall that it's time to bid you one and all goodbye. Goodbye. So long. So long. Goodbye till when we meet again.